What does it mean to be strong? That's the question that starts Ippo Makinouchi's battle. Not against an opponent, but against himself. I have seen a lot of great anime, Attack on Titan, Death Note, shows that pull you in with scale, or mystery, or spectacle. But Hajime no Ippo did something different. It didn't light up my imagination. It lit something else inside me. Something quieter. And somehow more direct. It's the story of a guy who was bullied constantly at school. A guy who helped his mother every single day, cancelling plans with his classmates without complaint. Because that's just what needed to happen. A guy who was unsure of himself. Timid. Not the kind of person you would expect to become anyone's idea of strong. But that guy, that particular guy, eventually put his mind to the one question the show opens with. And somehow, slowly, he crossed every limitation he thought defined him. I didn't expect a boxing anime to make me think about my own life this much, but it did. I just finished watching the first season of Hajime no Ippo, and I have to admit something a little bit strange. I didn't want to finish it. Not because it was bad, because I didn't want it to be over. There's a version of watching something you love where you slow down near the end, almost without meaning to, like some part of you is trying to make it last longer. That's what happened to me. Ippo starts as someone nobody expects anything from. He's not naturally gifted. He's not confident. If you had met him in episode 1, you probably wouldn't have picked him out as the one who ends up a champion. That's exactly why it works. His strength isn't handed to him. It's built, day by day, in a way that felt uncomfortably familiar to watch. Here's the part I still can't quite explain. Just before the final fight with Sendo, I stopped watching. I opened something else, a different show entirely. I told myself I would come back to it later, like it was any other episode I could pause without consequence. I have never done that with any other anime, not once. I have marathoned shows I didn't even like that much, just to see how they ended. But with Ippo, right before the fight, I had been building toward for hours of watch time. I stepped away. I think I know why now, even if I didn't at the time. I didn't want it to be over, and some part of me was almost afraid of how much I wanted him to win. Eventually, I couldn't resist. I went back to the first season that I was watching, and I watched the fight. And Ippo becomes the champion. Ippo Makinouchi, the champion. A guy who was bullied so badly in school that he barely spoke up for himself becomes a champion. Not through talent he was born with, but through persistent, unglamorous hard work and a stubborn refusal to stop believing in himself even when there was no evidence yet that he should. This show inspired me more than I expected it to. Enough that I genuinely started thinking, I could do that. I could fight for something, in my own way, with the same kind of consistent training. And to be honest, this is what the show actually told me. I could, you could, we all could. Because the fight was never really about boxing. Boxing was just the shape this particular story used to show it. Now, fights aren't limited to boxing or to sports at all. A fight can be the passion that gets someone through an exam they were terrified of failing. It can be a task so large it once felt impossible and somehow, slowly, stopped being impossible. It can be something as simple as waking up at 5 a.m. every day, which sounds easy to say out loud and is somehow one of the hardest things to actually keep doing. We each have to decide our own fight, not borrow someone else's, not wait for the right one to arrive. Just choose it, train for it in whatever quiet, unremarkable way that requires, and see it through to the end. Ippo didn't become strong because the story needed him to. He became strong because day after day, on the ordinary days nobody was watching, he showed up anyway. Maybe the fight worth having isn't the one that looks impressive from the outside. Maybe it's just the one we keep almost starting. If this page or this video stayed with you, I will see you in the next one.